C is said to be the mother of all programming languages. Even after 47 years since C was developed, it is still popular. Hi friends, this is CM Sharma, and in this video we'll have a brief introduction of C language. So let's get started. What is C? C is a middle-level programming language developed in 1972 at Bell Laboratories by Dennis Ritchie and his associates. The name C was given to this programming language as it was the successor of another programming language called B. So C came after programming language B. That's why the name C was given to C. Very interesting. The objective to develop C was to rewrite the code of Unix operating system, which was originally written in assembly. So the main objective of developing C was to rewrite Unix operating system. And these are the basic characteristics of C. C is a middle-level programming language. C is procedural or function oriented. So C supports this paradigm of function orientation. And C is portable but not platform independent. So there are two terms, portability and platform independence. So a language is said to be portable if you compile the code of that language, and if you are able to execute that code on the different versions of the same platform. Suppose you have compiled the code on Windows, then if a language is portable, you will be able to execute the code on different versions of Windows operating systems. And platform independence means that if you have written and compiled the code, suppose on Unix, and if you are able to execute that code on Windows, then it will be platform independent. C is portable, but it is not platform independent. C is fast as it has pointers. C is a structured programming language, and C is general purpose programming language. You can write a variety of software, including system software, application software. So C is equally good for writing both of them. C is compiled language. And what can C do? C is good for system programming. It can write device drivers and operating systems. C is good to write language compilers. The compilers of many languages are written in C. For example, the compiler of PHP, Python, and Perl all are written in C. And more interestingly, even the compiler of C is written in C. And C is good for writing many other software tools such as MySQL, which is a database management system that is developed in C. MATLAB and Mathematica tools are also fully or partially written in C. C is good to develop games and graphic programs due to its efficiency. And how to learn C? So the first step is that you should have a software that we call it compiler, and you can also have a complete package which has compiler, debugger, and an editor to write the code, and that package is called IDE. So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, on which you can write code, you can compile, and you can debug, and then you can execute the code. So there are various IDEs available for different platforms, including Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS. And there are some popular IDEs, like there is Turbo C, which is used for writing C and C++ code. There is Dev C++ compiler that can be used for writing the codes of the code of C language. And there is GNU compiler, GCC compiler for Linux operating system. So there is a similarity, there is an analogy, the way you learn a natural language and the way you can learn a programming language. So here you can see that for learning any natural language, first you need to understand the alphabets, the numbers in a language, and then you tend to learn punctuation marks. So this is the starting point where you start learning a natural language. So once you have learned the symbols of a language, then you can start forming the words. So in any natural language like English, there are two types of words: the dictionary words and user given words, suppose nouns and pronouns. So after learning words, then you can create sentences. And even in English, there are three types of sentences: affirmative, negative, and interrogative. After learning sentences, you can learn paragraphs, and once you start writing paragraphs, then you can write chapters or even books. So this is the way how your learning of our natural language evolves. You start with letters and then you move up to chapters and books. In the same way, you can start learning a programming language. So the starting point of learning a programming language is to understand the character set of a programming language. So character set can include the alphanumerics, operators, and other symbols. The older C had just 256 characters, while newer versions support up to 65,535 Unicode characters like Java. And after learning character set, you can start forming the words. So there are two types of words in C: either the reserved words whose meaning is pre-defined, and there could be some user-defined words that we call as identifiers. So an identifier is just a name given to anything in C. It can be a name given to a variable, a function, an array, a structure, union, an enumerated data type, a string, or anything else. So after learning character set, you form words. There are two types of words, and there are three types of statements in C: sequential, conditional, and iterative. So we'll be covering each of these programming constructs in detail in rest of the videos. And after learning statements, you can group the statements in the form of blocks and functions. And once you have learned the functions, then you can use them in writing programs. So a program is just a collection of one or more functions in C, because C is function-oriented programming language. So once you have learned that how to write small programs, then you can make a full-fledged software, which is just a collection of multiple lines. So you can see that learning natural language and learning a programming language like C are quite analogous. So these two are very similar. So if you understand the right process, then you can easily learn C. And hope you liked this video, and please watch our next video, which is how to write Hello World program in C with dev C++ IDE. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel.